today we're going to be taking a look at finances, mastering your money. And there are going to be three main areas in this: how to get out of debt, how to take control back over your finances, and finally, how to grow your money. Because it's not such an easy area to kind of get to grips with if you're a newbie at this kind of stuff. Dalio, who actually started up Bridgewater, which is basically this financial company that manages the finances for like China, for instance, he's actually predicting another recession. He says he thinks it's probably going to be more social and political than the last one, but still, best to get on top of your finances ASAP if you can. Okay, so first up, we have debt. If you have it, remember, you also have the most powerful God-given gift, choice. You can choose to ignore that debt and let it spiral out of control, or you can do what few people are able to and tackle what appears to be insurmountable odds to get back on your feet. That's just going to turn into a black hole that you are pouring bundles of money into. Now, one of the best ways to do this is to actually take out a second credit card that has about 12 to 18 months of interest-free credit and transfer the balance over to this new one and pay it off ASAP. It'll give you a bit of breathing space so that you're not just wasting money on paying interest, and it'll help you pay that off quicker, a lot quicker. Just remember, these painful cutbacks are only short term. You're going to be the one laughing at the end of the day when you've paid off your debt and you have oodles more coming in. Just think of the amount that you're actually spending on that credit card debt, or whatever debt it is, and what else you could be spending that on or saving towards. So think bigger picture. And secondly, try and avoid buying anything on finance, because those APR amounts are just absolutely ridiculous. So let's say you bought a dishwasher, their APR rate was 24.9%. Even if you didn't miss any payments and you paid that back over a year or over the course of a year, you would end up paying back almost double. You would end up paying £1,125.74. Kind of makes washing dishes by hand look appealing, to me at least. Same goes for cars and all sorts of other things. I would always tend to avoid buying on credit like the plague, because you always end up paying extortionate amounts of money more for something than you would have otherwise. If you want to check this stuff out for yourself, there are plenty of calculators out there. I use the one off money.co.uk, which is basically a financial comparison website. So check that out if you want, or Google your own, type in the figures, and you will be astounded at the amount that you will end up paying extra. Now let's quickly take a look at mortgage debt, because even if you haven't had any other kind of debt against your name in your life, chances are at some point you're going to have a mortgage. So as of January 2019, the average house price in the UK was £228,147. Now, say you got a deal and you managed to buy a house for £200,000 with a 10% deposit. That would leave you with £180,000 to repay on your loan. That would mean paying £809 per month over a 30-year term if you had about an average interest rate of about 3.5%. And this is under the assumption that interest rates will stay the same, which, let's face it, they're likely to rise, but who knows. So if interest rates stayed the same with that mortgage, you would end up paying back, from a house that you bought for $200,000, you would end up paying £291,097. That is £111,097 on interest alone. Now, I don't know about you, but that to me seems like a heck of a lot of money to be pouring into a black hole and seeing, nothing from it. So if you take a look at the mortgage calculators online, you can see that if you actually overpaid by £100 per month, you would end up paying that debt off 5 years and 3 months earlier, and you would save around £21,935. Just think what you could do with £21,935 in your back pocket for doing nothing but paying the debt back a little bit quicker. It's a heck of a lot of money and definitely something to think about. Any income is better than no income whatsoever. Obviously, you're going to see a lot faster progress if you're able to get a higher salary, and if you can reduce the outgoings that you have to the max. Minimum wage will do. You want to be making sure that you can cover the basics as well as have a little bit for savings and a little bit for investments, because savings and investments, two separate pots. Don't mix them up, keep them separate. You're going to need both, and don't give up. If you're thinking, I can't do another job, I haven't got time. Tony Robbins, for instance, he worked, if you don't know who he is, Google him. He worked an 8-hour shift as a janitor, and then he'd come home and he'd do like another 8-hour shift basically to get his business launched and build it into what it is today. So there are enough hours in the day. It just means having to sacrifice things like a life. For me, I basically do the night shift, so because we're potty training and so on at the moment, we do like toilet trips in the night with the kids. We've got teething at the moment, they've got chicken pox, so we're up quite a lot in the night, and then I'll get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, do a 12.5-hour shift with the kiddies, as well as doing all the gardening, the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, and doing stuff like this. I'll share some information that I think might be useful, and then come the evening when hubby gets home at about 7, half 7, we then take a look at going through the admin for the business that we run, and exercise, but it's doable. So as a quick summary, remember you have the most powerful tool available to you in shaping your future and carving out your financial security: choice. It also looks as though there might be another recession on the way soon, so with uncertainty around pensions and healthcare commitments that have been made financially, so take control of your finances as best you can so you can weather that storm as best you can. Whether it's a payday loan or a mortgage, form a plan to reduce the amount of interest you'll have to pay and clear that debt as soon as you can. Avoid buying on credit wherever possible, and if you do, make sure you check out that APR. This is what tells you the interest that you're going to pay as well as any automatic fees. And make sure you read the small print. Don't sign up to anything that you don't understand. Fees are often hidden, so get advice if you need it. When it comes to charity commitments and giving, I'm all for it, but I would never give out of debt if it's not something that is like a mortgage where you can plan for it and you're managing the repayments. If it's something that you are struggling with, I would be very wary of those who encourage you to give out of a place of debt. Make sure that you build that firm foundation first, because a generous heart is good and putting people's welfare before money is great. But if you don't want money to master you and you want to be in a position to help people long term, you need to get that foundation sorted. A wise man once said, "The rich rule over the poor and the borrower becomes a slave to the lender." For me, that's always worth considering before taking out or prolonging the repayment of any loan or debt. If debt is something that you are struggling with, again, I recommend that you have a chat with someone from the Citizens Advice Bureau or the Money Advice Service. They offer free and impartial advice, and it's so important that you have an opportunity to sit down and chat to someone who knows what they're talking about, get a plan together and tackle this once and for all. Build that firm foundation so that you can start taking back control of your finances and growing your money and putting yourself and your loved ones in a place of financial security. There is such peace of mind that comes with that. You can't put a price on it.